somebody asked for a lot more detail on the acoustics or the acoustic ideas inherent in the Kettlewell Resonant Covers, designed and built by Russ Kammerer. He did such a beautiful job with that curvature, the comfort of my hand to the side, the shape of those chambers. Look closely at the chamber shape there. You see how it's rather shallow way at the back? That's by the mouthpiece. And then it gets bigger and bigger. And it starts off almost flat, see, at the back? But look at how much curvature it has by the end. So let me explain what's going on. Most harmonica covers, they're just a device to put your hand on. They're a chunk of usually thin metal that's stamped on a stamping machine and plated in nickel or whatever they're plated in. But in my opinion, that's not a valid acoustic shape. That's my opinion, okay? And it's not how wind instruments are designed. If you take a look at like a trumpet, okay, you know, it is a chamber which is round, and in that chamber, sound waves can multiply upon themselves, bouncing, and instead of having a sound or sonogram that looks like that, it ends up with a sonogram that looks like that, which the ear hears as creamy sound. Okay? That's what an acoustically valid shape does, whether it's on a clarinet or a trumpet or a trombone or a saxophone and French horn, any of the wind instruments that actually reflect centuries of understanding and mastery of acoustics. So, what are these covers all about? Okay. We don't have the option of a full circle in this instance because they lay on a flat reed plate. But what you can do is half. That's the idea. That each of these arches represent essentially half of a trumpet bell. But it's nowhere near as big, as long as a trumpet bell. But it still will have a similar impact, but at a smaller level. Because that's what the physical dimensions of the chromatic harmonica do. Now you'll see he did bring these covers out. Russ Kammerer did bring the covers out another ½ inch beyond the comb. So he has made it longer, okay? I mean, he could have made them all the way out to here, right? That isn't what I asked for, and I wouldn't even do that. This gets the pungent punch. How do they sound like? So, you got half the bell of a trumpet. Okay. But it's a little more complex than that. If we did a cross section of the shape, Okay, cross section. Let's do the cross section all the way by the mouthpiece. What's it like in this sector? It's almost flat. Don't forget that it has to change over its shape, just like the bell of a trumpet. It can't all be like that. If we did a cross section at the midpoint here, those chambers, it would look like this, kind of rounded at the top and sides. And then what does it look like at the end? Well, you can see that clearly. Okay, that is definitely an arch. Definitely an arch. Okay, so you have a three-dimensional shape which is changing all the time as you go from here to here. That duplicates the acoustics of a wind instrument in an orchestra. That was the theory, the idea of the Kettlewell Resonant Covers. Russ is the one who took some very, very rough drawings that really didn't look too much different than that. That was what I sent him. I said, it's these channels, that are cut and they're like half a trumpet, and then he's the one that turned it into its finished shape with the slight lip here. I did ask for it, but I didn't tell him how to do it. And it's at just the right place for the hand. It's not here, it's here. The beautiful fit here. Again, just an exquisite design. But that at least gives more detail on what is this thing all about. It's about looking at the covers of a harmonica as an acoustically valid shape to create more beautiful music in the same way that the bell of a trumpet. Now, it makes more beautiful music. What happens if you cut off the bell of a trumpet? You're not going to get the sound of the trumpet anymore. And even in a trumpet, it goes from one size tube and it gradually increases. Flugelhorn, they're oval cut. Trumpet, it's round as a general rule. That's the story of the acoustics of the Kettlewell Resonant Covers, designed and built by Russ Kammerer. Go to Russ, RUSS.Kammerer, CAMERER, @gmail.com if you want to talk with him or order.